That night, I realized my best friend had been hiding something from me. I asked them one simple question, and suddenly, neither of them could look at me. But they had no idea what I was about to do.
I found the last text on his phone at 2 a.m. and it wasn't from a stranger. It was from my best friend of 12 years. And the message said, "Don't worry, she'll never find out." But she was wrong, because 3 weeks later, everyone found out. And what came out after that was so much worse than anyone expected. Let me take you back 6 months before any of this happened. Her name was Sarah. We met in the 7th grade, and for 12 years, she was the person I trusted more than anyone on this earth. She was there when my parents got divorced. She was there when I got my first heartbreak. She was the maid of honor speech I had already written in my head for her wedding one day. And then there was Daniel, my boyfriend of 2 years. The guy who remembered how I liked my coffee. The guy who said he wanted to marry me someday. The three of us were inseparable. Movie nights, road trips, Sunday brunches. I never once thought to question it. Sarah used to joke that she was the third wheel who refused to leave. Daniel used to laugh and say, "The more the merrier." I used to think I was the luckiest person alive. A best friend and a boyfriend who genuinely liked each other. Looking back now, I wonder how many of those jokes were actually warnings I was too happy to notice. That was my first mistake. The kind of mistake you don't even realize you're making until much later. It started small, almost nothing. Daniel started working late more often. Sarah started canceling our girls' nights, saying she was tired or busy or not feeling well. I didn't think anything of it. Why would I? These were the two people I trusted most in the world. But then I noticed something strange. Every time I brought up Sarah in front of Daniel, he'd get quiet, change the subject, look at his phone. And every time I mentioned Daniel to Sarah, she'd laugh a little too fast, answer a little too quickly. I told myself I was imagining things. I told myself I was being paranoid. I even remember telling a coworker, "I think something's off with my boyfriend and my best friend," and laughing it off before she could respond, because saying it out loud made it feel too real, and I wasn't ready for it to be real. So I buried it. I made excuses for both of them. I told myself that trust meant not asking questions. But deep down, a part of me already knew. It was a Tuesday night. I remember because I had just gotten off a 12-hour shift, and all I wanted was to fall asleep next to him. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. He was in the shower. I wasn't the type to snoop. I want you to understand that. I trusted him completely. But something in me, some instinct I couldn't explain, made me pick up that phone. The screen lit up with a name I knew better than my own. Sarah. The message read, "Don't worry, she'll never find out." My hands started shaking before my brain even understood what I was reading. I scrolled up and up and up months of messages, photos, plans to meet when I was working late, a hotel receipt from a weekend I thought he was visiting his brother. I sat on the edge of that bed for what felt like hours, just staring at the screen, waiting for it to make sense. It never did. Some part of me kept hoping I was reading it wrong, even though I already knew I wasn't. When Daniel came out of the shower, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just held up the phone. His face went white. He didn't even try to lie at first. That's how I knew it was real. He just stood there, dripping wet, saying my name over and over like that would fix anything. I asked him one question. How long? 8 months. 8 months of Sunday brunches, 8 months of movie nights, 8 months of me sitting between the two of them, completely blind. I left that night with one bag and no plan. I sat in my car in a gas station parking lot for 2 hours because I genuinely did not know where else to go. Every person I would normally call in a crisis like this was Sarah. But I want you to know this is not where the story ends, because what I found out next changed everything. I didn't go to Sarah right away. I needed time. But 3 weeks later, a mutual friend called me, and what she told me made my stomach drop all over again. Sarah hadn't just been sleeping with Daniel behind my back. She had been planning this for over a year. I found out that Sarah had applied for the same job as me, purely to be closer to Daniel's office. I found out she had been the one who suggested Daniel and I move in together, so she'd always have a reason to be around. Every coincidence, every just checking in, every single moment I thought was friendship had actually been a calculated plan. But here's the part that broke me the most. Sarah had been engaged before to a man who left her for her own best friend. And instead of healing from that pain, she decided the only way to feel powerful again was to become the person who did it to someone else. She didn't steal Daniel because she loved him. She stole him because she wanted to know what it felt like to win. And the saddest part? For a while, it probably did feel like winning, right up until the moment it stopped being a secret and started being her actual life. Because a relationship built on a betrayal doesn't just erase the betrayal once it's out in the open, it carries it every single day. No amount of time together can undo how it started. I confronted Sarah exactly once, face to face. No yelling, no drama. I just asked her, was any of it real? 12 years. Was any of it real? She couldn't even look me in the eye. She said she was sorry. She said she didn't mean for it to go this far, but you don't accidentally apply for a job. You don't accidentally suggest moving in together. Sorry doesn't undo a year of planning. I walked away that day and I haven't spoken to either of them since. It's been 8 months now. Daniel and Sarah are still together. I've heard through mutual friends that things aren't as perfect as they thought they'd be. Funny how a relationship built on betrayal has trouble trusting itself. As for me, I lost a boyfriend and a best friend in the same week, but I also learned something no one ever tells you. Sometimes the people closest to you show you exactly who they are. You just have to be willing to actually see it, even when it hurts more than anything else you've ever felt. If this story hit close to home, or if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely, I want to hear your story in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button because next week I'm sharing another story that's even harder to believe. And if you made it this far, drop a poll in the comments so I know you stayed until the end. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.